It's June 1st. Welcome to Junior Junior. I am your host, Jared Running Jr., joined by,
Dale Seinfeld Jr.
and let's get this show on the road. We got some MLB talk as always every week right here. Then we'll close out with an album
Mhm.
review, recovery from Eminem.
Yep.
I'll kick it off, talk a little bit of the Phillies. Then Dale, you can tell us about the Brewers. The Phillies. You know, the Phillies are 2-2 since we last talked, but honestly, I expected worse, so hard to be disappointed. Last Thursday night, they dropped the opener to the Braves before taking games 2 and 3 and split the series with a loss in the closer. Uh, I was hoping for one win if we were lucky, so a split was perfectly acceptable with me. But then it was time for the first travel to the Queens for the year and a three-gamer with the Mets. Uh, this has resembled more of what I expected with this road trip. A loss 0-2 in the opener. Pitching duel there. Kore Sanga getting the best of the Phil's bats. On a 1-4 loss yesterday to lose the series in the first two. Taiwan Walker looks to salvage a win against Scherzer in his former team, but hopes are low with the lack of offense of late. After this, the Phils will travel to DC to take on the Nationals for the first time and then head home to face Detroit. Looking for some of that June magic of last year that turned their season around oh so early into the month. We're not going to be
Mhm.
firing Rob Thompson like they fired Joe Girardi last year, but what can you do about a new manager? We don't need that. Philly Rob will figure it out. The Phils, for the third straight year, I believe, are uh, 25 and 30. So, yeah, it's becoming all too common that they start like this. They're 7.5 out of first. I believe 3.5 behind the Mets and Marlins for second. Hey, I just want to win some ball games, go on a 10-game win streak again or something like that, and get a jump start to this team that they so desperately need, and turn it around here. Heading into the All Star break and well past the All Star break before they take their inevitable September dive, because that happens every single year. So Dale, tell us a little bit about the last week in Brewers baseball.
Yeah, so last we talked, the Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Houston Astros. So they then hosted the San Francisco Giants on what would be their last homestand for a couple days. And yeah, let's say it didn't go as planned. They lost 3 out of 4 to the Giants, especially on Friday the 26th, where they lost 15-1. They got smoked. So they didn't play the best game of baseball, but then they took the finale 7-5, and then they had an off day Monday, and then they went to Toronto. I think this is the first time in almost 3 years, longer than that. I think they've been to Toronto. So it's kind of cool to see because I don't think I've seen a Brewer game on TV in Toronto yet. So it's kind of something. So yeah, they lost the first game 2-7 against the Blue Jays, and then they won today 4-2, or won yesterday 4-2, and they look to take the um, finale of this game today. They play at 12:07, and then after they're done in Toronto, they will go to Cincinnati, and then they'll go back home with the host Baltimore, and then close out the weekend against Oakland. So that should be, I think, a couple pretty good series here, especially the Baltimore series. Two somewhat good teams in baseball. Yeah, with the Orioles on a hot streak, I'm kind of worried about them. Usually, people a couple of years ago weren't so worried about Baltimore, but being a Brewer fan, you got to worry about everybody because it can kind of suck at the right moment. But no, but overall, they didn't have a great month of May, and I'm kind of happy it's over with. Looking forward to June and seeing what they can do in June, July, and beyond. But yeah, they are right now sitting at 29-26, and they are actually leading the division by a game ahead of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, how about those? Speaking of the NL Central, how about those Reds? They had a 7 game win
Y-
streak. I thought I saw.
Yep. Um, 5 game win streak.
Oh, okay.
They're 7-3 in the last 10.
That must have been where I seen the 7. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because at one point they were last in the division
Yeah,
like a
they're
week and a
coming.
half ago. Yeah.
Yeah, don't count the Reds out. They come and they're gonna be the next team to hold first place in that division. And then the Cardinals are coming and they'll probably take the rest of the year.
Hope not, but that might happen.
Yeah, well,
I just want to say it's crazy. I'm looking at the standings, just looking at how Miami's only 4 out from the first place.
yeah. I mean they're a good ball club. They've just had some
Yeah.
shitty luck with the rest of the
Yeah.
teams in the division. We can talk about this at the end, but there is a thing that we could talk about relating to Miami's shitty luck. But I'll talk about the Twins first because I kind of
Okay.
end with
Yep.
something that would perfectly segue into this talk.
It's all
So I got
you.
some good. I got some good news and some bad news when it comes to the Twins. We'll start with the bad news because it comes first in the week. First, the Twins went 3-3 or 500 since last week, which is so not terrible bad news. But the real bad news is they lost the series to the Blue Jays in Minnesota, taking the middle game 9-7, and what could be best described as a closer meltdown, as Jorge Lopez did not have his stuff, something becoming all too common. The good news: season series win over the Astros and series win in general as they reverse course here, taking the opener and closer 7-5, 8-2. More bad news though, as Joe Ryan had a rough outing in that middle game, something that would have seemed impossible earlier this year. The Twins are 29-27 right now, first place in the AL Central by 2 over the Detroit Tigers. But for a new fun game that we can do every week, since I've seen this comparison so often, the Twins are tied for 4th place in the AL East, 10 behind the Tampa Bay Rays. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, the Twins, or the leader of the AL Central, so the Twins, have on multiple occasions been last in the AL East and actually currently only hold a half-game lead over Boston. So that's where I was kind of talking about the Marlins' bad luck. There was a study done. I wish I could quote the stats, wish I could quote the guy, but I don't remember who it was. But I seen the study, and it was the divisions. And it was records in division and records out of division for the division as a whole. You didn't see team breakdowns. But the AL East has the best record out of division, beats up on each other. The NL East in second. Then you had the West. I don't remember which order, if it was NL or AL first. I'm guessing NL, just based on the fact, well, there's some pretty bad teams in the AL West that might bring that down. And then the two Centrals on the bottom. So I thought that it's kind of, we're talking about the Marlins' bad luck, and then I had this whole thing about the Twins in 4th place in the AL East, tied with Toronto. Um, yeah, I just thought just a really good thing to bring up here. The East are just divisions that soar. They beat up on each other and then they soar out of division. I'd like to say the Phillies do that, but I don't know how they're bringing that stat down or anything for the NL East.
hmm
I mean, they played fine enough. I mean, did they win 90 games last year? No. But they had two of the best teams in the NL in their division, in the Braves and the Mets. And the Mets won every game against them last year, and that's kind of the thing of beating up on your division, but playing well out of it. If the Phillies win a few more games against the Mets, they win 90 games. And yeah, you got to take care of business out of division when you play in a tough division like that, and that's what the Marlins are going to have to look to do if they want to find themselves in the playoffs.
Hmm.
But yeah, I found that stat interesting. Um, and yeah, and I thought it really relates to the Marlins talk, second place in the East, and that being a tough division, and the Twins or the AL Central, however you want to look at it, the leader since it's been the Twins, so we just said Twins,
Yeah.
but the leader of the AL Central would be dead last in the AL East so often
Hmm.
this season. But yeah, that was a good baseball talk. We
Hmm.
can hit a quick ad break, and then when we come back, we can talk our album for the week, introduce the album for next week, and yeah, just close out the show. Let you guys get off and going early. Enjoy the day wherever you are. Head over to tpublic.com/Unity Dogs Maniac to pick up the Phil's Nation collection. Phil's Nation, Minnesota, Phil's Nation, West Virginia, and of course, the home of the Fightings, Phil's Nation, Pennsylvania. Once again, head over to tpublic.com/Unity Dogs Maniac to pick up the Phil's Nation collection as well as plenty more merchandise. And we are back here, guys, live at Dogs Maniac Entertainment. We got an album review for you folks, and then we will let you get off and running with your day. Thank you to everyone joining us to start their morning. It's 9 a.m. here in the Central Standard Time Zone. Yeah, so let's right at 9 a.m. get the album review going this week. We got Recovery, the seventh studio album from rapper Eminem. This album released in June of 2010, and now almost 13 years later to the day, Junior gives you its thoughts. So what else to say but, Dale, the floor is yours.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge hip hop or rap fan, but when it comes to rap or hip hop, Eminem's one of my favorites. So this album's a good album. I have a couple of the songs on my Spotify playlist, but what I really like is the different. He has like Lil Wayne. He has Rihanna. He has Pink. Like he has all these other artists on songs with him, which I kind of like. I kind of wish a little more hip hop artists or rap artists. I'm not sure what albums they are, but I kind of like those ways that they do that with other artists, like kind of a combo song with them. But no, I'm gonna again try to keep it short and sweet. Um, Probably Not Afraid on the Recovery album is probably my favorite song. Wasn't a big fan of 25 to Life. I don't know why. Just I don't know. I'm going to give this probably a 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite album, but it's not my least favorite either. There's a lot of songs I do enjoy, and there's other ones I don't.
Fair, fair, fair. All right, yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Okay. Um, I didn't listen to the album. I'm joking. I'm joking. Of course I did. I listened to every album, folks. I listened to every album. I had to get you guys going. I had to get you going. No, Eminem is easily my favorite rapper of all time. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a stereotypical white guy about rap. Tell your jokes. It's fine. But no, really, I like many people like him. Now, while this isn't my favorite album from him, it is full of great tracks. My childhood favorite, Not Afraid. That's my top song as well. I remember my dad picking me up from school on Friday and hearing that song every time. That brings back memories of elementary school there. But that's not the only song off here because we also have Love the Way You Lie with Riri. Going through changes, almost famous. Hell, you could probably go through listening every track there is on this album. My least favorite on this is WTP, the song featuring Pink, I suppose. I just don't really like Pink.
No, the just a WTP, I think it's just by Eminem. Won't Back Down's Eminem and Pink.
Oh, that's the song I meant to put then. I was quick. I was quickly writing this review. I was like, I couldn't remember what it was called.
No,
Yeah, that's my bad.
no worries.
Yeah. No, but I really don't have anything terrible to say about this album. There's no song that's terrible, terrible. It's
Mhm.
a solid 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. So really, I could put any song in that least favorite category. And it's like a lot of weeks where we review a good to decent album. There ain't
Mhm.
anything really bad on it. It's where there's just the upper echelon of tracks, and then there's the rest. And anything can go in that least favorite. And I would say this is another week. If it's not one that I mentioned in that first group, then it's pretty interchangeable for worst. Yeah, I mean it's a good album. Is it my favorite? No. Um, but it's a good way to introduce the fact that Andrew will be hosting this week's. Uh, well, I guess next week's because it's Tuesday, so it's a new week.
Mhm.
But next week's Crank It Up rap with his top 11 rap artists. Will Eminem be on there? You'll have to tune in to see. I'm not giving spoilers.
Nope.
Um,
He may not be, but yeah, and I think we kind of picked this album to tie in to crank it up and kind of to promote it a little bit.
yeah. If you have not watched the first episode of Crank It Up, it went out at 1:30 on Tuesday. It was me covering my top 11 favorite rock artists. Go back, check it out. It's right there on the YouTube. Right here, Dogs Maniac Entertainment.
Hmm.
Give it a watch. And then after Andrew tells us about rap next week, we'll be on to somebody new. And we've talked about this album. This is one that's been teased and teased. It's Megan
Yep.
Baroni's debut, Lucky. Will live up to the hype of the wait. Will it disappoint? You'll have to tune in here, right here, next week. Find out. Crank It Ups is country, and Dale will have you for the country. Dale will be covering the country in 2 weeks, after Andrew tells us about rap next week. So get a nice little debut country album on Junior, and we'll tell you more about Dale covering country on Crank It Up when we're through next week.
Yep.
You excited, Dale?
Huh?
You excited?
I am very excited to tell about country because I know it's kind of I wouldn't say it's the forgotten one, but it's the one that not a lot of people I feel like listen to. Feels like they've listened to more rock, pop, or like rap. So be cool to introduce and talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have anybody covering pop.
No.
That's it.
I feel like we could all three cover that if we so choose.
Yeah, we very well could. That'd be interesting how you do top 11s if all three are covering it. Because you can't really do three list in one
Hmm.
episode based on knowing how long those lists took us to record.
Hmm.
Um, for one person, but that's a discussion for another time. That's not a
Hmm.
junior um, audience worry. That's a worry for the higher ups, our heads, the ones that are telling
Yeah.
us what to say here on Junior, the ones sitting in the big corporate offices. Um, but with that, I'll conclude the show. We are just getting over 22 minutes here. Been a short, little sweet show for you guys. We will see you back here next week, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for Junior.
I do have one thing to say. I would like to congratulate the 2023 Superior Spartans as tomorrow they graduate. So want to congratulate them. All you guys will go on to do great things. I know we've had a couple friends that are, I think, seniors this year
Yeah,
that we have
yeah.
known and talked to. So yeah, we want to congratulate them. You guys will do amazing things in this world. And yeah, look forward to getting this because I feel like this is probably one of the most important pieces of paper you'll get. I think it's probably more important than your college diploma or any other certification because for 12 years you had to put up with that for 12 years. So think about that, what, 14 years, I should say, if you started 4 years old in preschool, depending on where you went. But yeah, you put up with teachers from preschool to 12th grade. You put up with all those teachers and they were hammering you the whole time. So that's probably the piece of paper that you probably is the biggest one that you've earned in your life. So I want to wish everybody good luck and yeah, have fun and enjoy your graduation, enjoy the all-night grad party and all your futures. And that's also for all the graduating class of 2023 across the country. So if you're a viewer from a different school, congratulations to you too.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few classes that have already graduated uh,
Hmm.
around the country. So, hey, yeah, congratulations to you. And yeah, I didn't realize we were doing that. I didn't think anybody watched us from that class. But okay, congratulations to the graduating class of 2023 at
Well,
Superior High School.
this is gonna sound weird, but I gotta say something about my alumni, like about
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do. But if any other class thinks, well, we will do it for Mark. Who
yeah.
knows? Junior might be dead before next year. You never know. Now you're getting us into the existential crisis of the life of Junior. We do not want to talk about that. What we want to talk about is that you could tune in next week, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be right back here. We will not be dead before next week.
No.
Uh, you can hear us again next week, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here, Dogs Maniac Entertainment. If you watch the 2K Universe videos, those will be back Saturday at I believe noon. And then crank it up next Thursday or not next Thursday, next Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do that out to your local time zone. I'm not here to tell you about all your time zones, what time each show is on. But yeah, we will be right back here. I've been Jared,
And I've been Dale.
and this has been Junior and Junior. See you guys next week.